I'm the Irish guy, and a couple of days ago, I was sitting in the bushes of a car park, drenched in sweat and casually peeling sunburnt skin off my face, while simultaneously weighing up the ethics on whether or not it's correct to steal an ice cream cone from a granny in a wheelchair. But then it dawned on me, why? Why is Jesse Lingard still out of work? I mean, lads, this is late July. We're 2 weeks out from the new Premier League season, and this guy, he can't find a job. I mean, if Jeremy Kyle was still in the air, I'd half expect to find him sitting on the couch. I mean, Jermaine Pennant sat there once. Jesse, what is going wrong? This is a 29-year-old attacking midfielder with 32 caps for England. Oh yeah, and just the 232 games for Manchester United. How is he still a free agent, right? Honestly, this is like an eligible bachelor like Jude Law being forced to spend Friday night eating frozen ice cream on the couch and just paying the homeless to spoon him in bed. I mean, what is Jesse putting out there that's breaking down a new move, right? I mean, is he turning up to job interviews dressed in a bin bag covered in sick? Does he spend the entire 20 minutes in a chairman's office just picking his nose and watching mice fornicate on his phone? Honestly, you can find anything on the internet. I don't get it. Has he just spent the last month driving his Porsche into club car park, threatening to deaf everyone by blasting Spice Girls off the radio? I mean, honestly, listening to Lingard arrive for contract talks whilst belting out, "I'll tell you what I want, what I really want." Again, that's like waiting at a restaurant and seeing your date walk in while shaving your armpits with a spoon. Please point me in the direction of the nearest fire exit. But what? What is Lingard doing that's so off-putting, right? I mean, he needs a new club. Time is running out, Jesse. I mean, you're nearly 30 years of age. I'm gonna put this in words that you can understand. Tick tock, tick tock. Yeah, I know. Me even just mentioning those two words has probably caused his pants to tighten around his waist. But as always, there is a reason that this man is still single. To me, I honestly thought he was in the same pickle as some balding 52-year-olds who struggle to get a second date. But I mean, what do you expect when you spend dinner eating spaghetti with your hands and telling her that she smells like your mum? But Lingard, it's not that people don't think he's good enough. No, apparently the reason he doesn't have a club yet is because he's demanding £180,000 a week. And yeah, chuck in the no doubt bonuses in his contract, and that works out to be a cool £10 million a year. That is the same wage as the Wolf of Wall Street, and they made an entire film about his wealth. This would put Lingard in the 0.000000001% of income earners in the world. Are we forgetting he's an attacking footballer about to enter his 30s with just 62 career goals to his name? 62 spread across 10 seasons. That's about 6 goals a year, and he thinks he's entitled to 10 mil a season? I mean, this is what happens when you've got unhelpful offers on the table from a team in Saudi Arabia, which apparently Lingard is interested in. Listen, these sort of contract offers from putting teams on the other side of the world, it's a bit like when you're 9 years old and some blacked out van pulls up outside your school and offers you a bag of Maltesers. I mean, deep down, you know this is the wrong move to make, but my god, when your mother just packs your lunchbox with a cabbage sandwich and a packet of dog food, then I'm sorry, you want the chocolate. Honestly, this is like being offered the chance to go bowling with Darth Vader. You know you shouldn't go to the dark side, but at the same time, you like bowling. By the way, trying it 150,000 subscribers as soon as possible. If you're new here, don't forget to slap that big fat red subscribe button, you absolute legends. Anyway, back into the video. Moving to Saudi Arabia would kill Lingard's England career dead. I mean, good guys, the effect would be tying his career ambitions to a balloon and sending it into space. I mean, everyone will quickly forget who he is. So these offers, he knows they're the wrong choice, but at the same time, they are so tempting. So I get why he's pondering a £10 million a year offer from there. And for the ego too, I mean, this is a division where Odion Igalo was seen as a superstar. I mean, Lingard, you'll remember Igalo from his brief 6 months at Old Trafford. And it's a bit like when you're at school and your teacher introduces you to some weird foreign exchange student who's just got off the plane from a village in Luxembourg. You know, the strange sort of boy who proceeds to just chew the pages of his homework and sniff the teacher's seat at lunch. I'm sorry, but yeah, he had the first touch of a beanbag. Yes, I know he did well in the Cups, but let's not forget, he did score 0 goals in the Premier League. I'm guessing at Old Trafford he's probably forced to eat lunch on his own and was most likely bullied in the showers. Honestly, the likes of Paul Pogba probably used to take a leak in his bottle of shampoo. Okay, no, okay. In reality, I think Igalo was actually pretty popular with the squad. But my point remains, he was wet cottage cheese in the Premier League, and yet he owns the Saudi League. Lingard has an offer on the table from West Ham, but apparently the favourites for his signature are now Nottingham Forest. For some reason, they're willing to absolutely shatter their wage structure. I'm sorry, Forest, but if you choose to pay anything close to £180,000 a week for someone who turns 30 in 20 weeks' time, then clearly you're about as sensible sensible as that donkey of Shrek. I mean, who impregnates a dragon? I mean, to be fair, I could probably find a couple of Game of Thrones fanatics who wouldn't say no. But lads, Forest are currently bankrolled by Greek businessman Evangelos Marinakis. And yeah, he looks a bit like if you gave Hagrid a shave. But lads, when 2/3 of his Wikipedia page are dedicated to controversy, then yeah, he's beginning to look like a Greek Tony Soprano. But at least with Forest, you can say he's done a good job. But it's emerged that Forest have agreed to cover Dean Henderson's £110,000 a week wages during his loan deal for Man United this season. I mean, that alone, if I was a Forest fan, that would scare the poo out my mouth. When I hear that a newly promoted club are giving £100,000 a week to a flash new goalie, it just reminds me when QPR paid that for Julio Cesar in 2012. You know, the Brazil #1 who'd recently won the Champions League. Yeah, while in London, he showed the hunger and desire of a bowl of soggy lasagna, and soon losing his place to Rob Green. He was a disaster. Honestly, Cesar had no real want to play for QPR. And Henderson, if you tell him that in 3 years he'll still be Forest's #1, I'd probably be so angry he'd bite off his tongue. You do not want to be QPR. QPR's transfer business from 2011 to 2013 was scarily stupid. Just huge, monster wages for big names who couldn't have cared less about the club. Honestly, bringing the likes of Loic Remy, Chris Samba, Josie Basingwa, and expecting them to care? It's like a lonely billionaire buying a mail-order bride off the internet. Yeah, and paying her $500,000 a week and expecting her to cuddle him with heartfelt conviction at night? No, she's only there for the money. So 110k per week for Henderson, that would worry me. But on top of that, 180k for Lingard or anything close to that? It's almost like this club want to financially implode. If Nottingham Forest stay up, it'll be a great story, yes. But stockpiling all of this financial pressure on the shoulders of Steve Cooper, I mean, he doesn't need any more scrutiny under the spotlight. He's already got people on Twitter comparing him to Quasimodo. So he doesn't need this. The owners are basically telling him, we can't afford to get relegated now, or suddenly everyone's gonna have to get showered in the sink. Suddenly the dinner ladies will be made homeless, the kitmen will have to knit their own uniform, and suddenly the players will be served nothing but Rice Krispies for lunch. And think of the morale. What do you think £180,000 a week spent on one player is gonna do for the squad morale? I mean, Brennan Johnson scored 19 goals last season. Oh yeah, and recorded 10 assists. He's by far the club's best player, and he's just signed a new 4-year deal. I'm not sure what his wages are, but probably no more than 70k a week. I mean, if it's even scratching the ceiling of £100,000 a week, then I'll eat scrambled egg out of a cat's litter box. I mean, what do you think he's gonna think of the club throwing that much at some walking past an ego? If I was Johnson, I'd be kicking down the chairman's door and threatening to do a poo in his pencil case. I mean, who does Lingard think he is? This is a guy who has never been on a contract worth more than £75,000 a week, and he's nearly 30 years old. He has spent his entire life earning less than John Joe Shelby. So why does he think he can pull a number close to 200k out of thin air when he spent the last 10 years earning less than Andros Townsend? I mean, where are you getting these numbers from, Jesse, when you've never pocketed even a £100,000 a week salary a day in your life? What makes you think you're now entitled to a wage on par with Trent Alexander-Arnold? There is just something about being a free agent which causes football agents to go mad. And let's not forget, Aaron Ramsey ran on his contract at Arsenal and was able to shake Juventus down for £175,000 a week. I just don't even understand how much bottle it must have taken. Ramsey is a nothing special aging Welsh midfielder. You know, someone who's just failed in Scotland. So the fact he was willing to scupper a move to a European giant like Juventus by asking for insane amounts of money, it's like a fat old man organizing a date with Britney Spears, but demanding that first he go outside and clean his car. Just what? But on the other hand, Paul Pogba is Lingard's mate. He's the same age as him. Oh yeah, and also a free agent. Wow, he just moved to Juventus on a £130,000 a week salary. And football just thinks of this man as a money-hungry deviant who'd stab his own mother in the eye to get himself a better deal. Well, apparently, Paul Pogba's wage demands were still 50k lower than Lingard's. Jesse, does that not give you some sort of clue that you're barking up the wrong tree? I mean, like, what is going on? Lingard's wages are ruining his career. I mean, just stop thinking about the payday. Go back 2 months and he's been linked with AC Milan and Juventus. Yeah, try and throw your 180k wage demands at those European monsters. I mean, I know it worked for Ramsey in 2019, but lads, Juventus have clearly learned from that. I mean, the reckless spending caught up with them when they were forced to sell Ronaldo. Honestly, being forced to sell their prized crown golden jewel, it probably stuck. Probably a bit like when the tax man forced True Geordie to sell the Bentley. It must have stuck like a jellyfish biting on your knob. As for the other Italian giants, I mean, if they bowed to those demands, then Jesse Lingard would be the best paid player at AC Milan. That does not compute in my brain. That can never happen. ever. Christ above, he'd be earning more than Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I mean, it gets worse. Of all the world-class legends who've ever worn the proud AC Milan famous shirt, Jesse Lingard would actually be the best paid player in the history of the club. AC Milan would have never paid a higher wage to anyone else. Not even Ronaldinho or Kaká. If that were to ever happen, you might as well just wipe dog poo over the stadium walls. Jesse Lingard, just take a sensible wage of 90k a week. That is a fine wage for a bench warmer nearly in his 30s. And if you did that, I'm pretty sure you'd now be at AC Milan in the Champions League. I mean, it's still a club who signed Fabio Borini. I think they'd have taken you too. Instead, you're just trying to shake every last penny out of a newly promoted club with stars in their eyes. I mean, he's almost taking advantage of a club who've been out of the top flight loop so long, they just think they need to be making these sort of signings to stay up. It's like an old man turning up to a beach for the first time in 35 years. I mean, the lifeguard could tell him anything. That it's modern beach policy to just smear an ice cream cone in your face and you just have to swim in the nude. Forest, no, you don't have to do stupid signings like this. Just honestly, you should have done what Little Mix did in 2019 and tell Jesse to get out. Anyway, that's what do you think? Let me know, where should Lingard go next? Should he go to Forest? Should he go to West Ham? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe as always. I'll talk to you in a while.